And you are live.
What is up, guys? It is Off the Bench, of course, your host here, Kelsey Huffine. Sitting to my left, we got Richie, of course, over here. And across us, we got Pops on the other side of the screen there. Not on the side of the screen. He's behind the camera working on production.
All good.
But we are looking to have a fun day today, having some fun. Just doing a midweek update and kind of what happened this last weekend, what we're moving toward this coming weekend, as it does look like it's a very B-tier weekend, as Richie said off the air just a couple of minutes ago. But first, I want to hit up John Paul, hitting us up on the socials earlier today. In fact, right as we scheduled the stream for today on YouTube, he hit us up and said, can't wait for you guys to go live tonight because I got a lot to say and you probably ain't going to like most of it. Laugh out loud.
I'm guessing he's going to give some props to Auburn.
Maybe.
Is that different than any other time he comments?
Well, they finally won a game.
Oh, did they?
They beat Petrino.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. They beat Arkansas last weekend.
Auburn won a game?
They did, yes. Probably pushed back the freeze firing by just a couple of weeks.
Thought they forgot how to do that.
I did too. I don't know. It seems like, of course, Auburn, it's almost like Auburn wants to be in on the Lane Kiffin sweepstakes, but they can't.
Right.
They can't because they have Hugh, and they can't fire Hugh because they don't have enough of a reason to fire Hugh, but they don't like the direction of the program, but there just hasn't been that backbreaking moment.
So true story. Was at Moe's last night doing trivia.
Uh-huh.
Table behind me, bunch of young college kids, a range of fans, Mississippi State, Auburn, the whole thing. So we got to yakking and everything. And they were talking about firing Hugh.
Yeah.
I said, well, here's my thing. As of today, if they fired Hugh Freeze, Auburn is the blank job in the country right now.
They would be the fourth best.
So as we sit right now tonight, they would be the fourth best.
Open, yes.
So the question I presented, they agreed. They said the same thing. The question I presented was, Lane Kiffin takes LSU.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
What's a better job right now, Ole Miss or Auburn?
Ole Miss,
100%.
So they're still fourth.
Yes.
So at best right now, if Auburn just threw out the backed up the Yellowwood truck, if for per se, they're getting the fourth best coach available. How much of an upgrade is that from Hugh Freeze and to destroy your program for another 2-3 years?
It's not. And that's going to be the issue with Auburn going forward is there's just not a better option now. Okay, maybe unless they can go pull out a sweepstakes for Franklin, but there have been reports of him going to VT. That could be figured out soon.
Yeah.
So
you're taking somebody else's leftovers,
essentially. But that was a premature firing.
Sorry,
from Franklin. I think and Franklin can still go to another school with the right resources and hire the right staff and go win a national championship. Especially if he goes to the South. Recruiting in the South is way different from recruiting at Penn State.
If he goes to Auburn or if he goes to Virginia Tech?
Auburn, if it goes to Auburn, we're specifically, in my mind, I'm thinking Franklin at Florida, but it won't happen.
Oh, that would be good, though.
It won't.
He would fit in there.
He's just not on that board, I don't think.
For what? Why wouldn't you, though? He seems like he would fit that program. I don't see Lane's either going to get the absolute contract to stay in Ole Miss, or LSU is going to come calling. Daughter's going to transfer so she can be closer to boyfriend.
Weeks, yeah.
And here we are. And every fax machine in Oxford is putting in their transfer information to Louisiana State University.
Well, the name that I've heard for Florida throughout this week is Glenn Schumann, the defense coordinator for Georgia, which would also be chaotic knowing the relationship of once being at Georgia and now going to Florida.
That makes not to jump ahead of this weekend's matchups, but that would definitely make the cocktail party a little more festive.
That's true. Yes,
I just keep going back to this coaching carousel, and is Auburn going to get a better coach than Hugh Freeze? Is LSU really a better program than Ole Miss right now? I mean, historically, yes. Okay, but what Lane Kiffin has done at Ole Miss is a turnaround and a half. They put them on the map. They're a top 10 team. They've got a great offense, good defense. They're recruiting, the top 5 recruiting classes. Could he do better than that at LSU?
I think he could with the money that LSU will have. LSU has bigger pockets and deeper pockets than Oxford, Mississippi does. Nothing against the 50th best state in the country, Mississippi. But I just don't. The question is everybody kept saying that Nick was going to leave Alabama. Nick was going to leave Alabama. Nick was going to leave Alabama. And Miss Terry said, no, you're not. And he didn't until it was time to retire and go to the house with Miss Terry. Does Lane care enough about the money, or like I said Saturday,
it's legacy or money? I mean, you can go to LSU. Okay. Okay, let's put it this way. How many seasons did it take Saban to win at LSU?
Was it 3 or 4?
I think it was 3.
3.
Yeah.
3 in 4 years, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was before the transfer portal. And with the transfer portal, and NIL is going to incite people to come more, I guess. But then again, it's all over across the country. So I don't know if you can put in that factor or not. But if you're putting it in terms with the transfer portal, if Saban would have had the transfer portal like it's set up now, where you didn't have to sit out a year before transferring to that school or being eligible to play at that school, right?
Right.
Could he have done it faster at LSU? Ole Miss hasn't won that national championship yet. So if Lane Kiffin goes to LSU, hires the right staff, okay, retains a lot of those kids that are already on the team, adding Ole Miss players, okay, on top of that, going to recruit more players, going to go poach, I don't know, whatever's left of Auburn after Hugh Freeze is done with it. Penn State, go poach Penn State, poach Florida, poach all these schools, right? I think in the long run, an LSU run with Ole Miss would be better.
I don't disagree with you. I 100% think Lane Kiffin at LSU is a better team than Lane Kiffin at Ole Miss. The question is that what Lane wants? And does it, if both of them throw 15 million at him, if LSU throws, some stupid number at him, or Ole Miss throws a stupid number at him, does that matter? And I'll throw a complete another monkey into this wrench.
Mm-hmm.
There is a lot of rumors. I have heard a lot of rumors that there is a very great head coach that may or may not be wanting to dip his toe into the more of the Sunday game. And if that was to happen, you're talking about the only school that would be better than LSU.
I disagree. I know where you're going with this.
Would be the Horns.
Yeah, I've seen Sark has kind of dipped his toe into the NFL waters. But I don't think that's a better job than LSU.
Really?
No. Even with, now, I guess when Sark was going there, the whole prerequisite was, we're going to be in the SEC. They were in the Big 12 at the moment, right? So, but he knew they were going to go to the SEC. But I think LSU is probably top 2 jobs in the country. And it was built by Saban. If Saban never went there, then we're having a whole nother conversation. This might be one of the most poorest jobs in the country. But they have the facilities. Okay. They have the money. Okay. There's a name that I keep circling back to, and it's probably not the splash hire. But then again, you're taking away a guy that's probably going to be in the SEC in the next couple of years anyways. That's John Summerall at Tulane.
Yes.
He's been the state. And people are forgetting this action, right? The governor is supposedly involved in this LSU firing and hiring mode, right?
So you keep the in.
So why not just keep it in state?
Yeah.
John Summerall's right down the road. He won't even have to sell his house down there.
Yeah, he's already on the payroll for the state. Yeah.
Exactly, right? Just move him over.
Just change the name at the top of the check versus the.
I think Summerall makes the most sense for this job. I've even heard rumors of Lanning. But I don't think Dan Lanning said
There's no way. We've talked about this earlier today.
We did.
There's no way Lanning leaves Oregon.
And I thought about the possibilities, and I like it better than Lane Kiffin because who does Dan Lanning bring down there? Tosh Lapoy.
Yes.
Former linebacker coach for Alabama.
Yeah.
And what did he do with SEC prospects?
Yeah.
He sent them all to the first round.
Yeah. He turned,
he
turned 4s into 5s and 5s into paychecks.
It gets even scarier, right?
I will say this, though, with the Texas thing. I think Lane is a better fit at Texas, given what he's done at Ole Miss, than he is at LSU.
Yeah.
I feel like
is that a dramatic pause?
I feel like it's just a better fit. Like, yes, LSU is the better job, but we can agree that in this scenario, LSU is the better job. Texas is at least the better job over Ole Miss.
See, I don't know where Texas would fit into that. I think they probably slide in at 2 or 3 right behind. I mean, I think LSU and Florida. There's so much possibility at Florida. Okay, but we're talking about 2 jobs that have a lot of money, historic ties, right? Okay. And me and Dad were bringing up the point earlier. Me and Pops were about how jobs are represented and how they're perceived as the best job in the country. So with that, Alabama, with so much history being involved, he made the point of why is LSU a better job, or why is Alabama not a better job than LSU? And I told him, I was like, look, it's just the way it's perceived. It's the way history is done. It's all this. Okay. And you brought up the point about Saban, and I thought about this more throughout the day. Alabama has so much history. Okay. You bring it to Bear, you bring it to Saban, right? Okay. You said earlier, you said they had Bear, and then look at that, right? They went and topped him with Nick Saban. Okay.
Yep.
Here's the thing at LSU. There's history there. You have Saban there.
Saban was there for 1 year. He won one national championship.
But my point stands, right? Okay.
Yeah.
There has been history made at Alabama. Okay. LSU, you're looking at a job where there is history there, but there hasn't history that's been made, right? You had a guy that's not represented.
Long-term history. Bear Bryant was there for Alabama fans act like Bear Bryant was there for 100 years.
But you're looking toward opportunity with LSU. Okay, they're hungry. They're really hungry to have that next generation.
They were hungry and they've won a national championship.
Well, and I'm going to hit back with this. Yeah. Brooks hitting us up on YouTube. Bring back Big O.
Yeah,
that won't happen, but it won't happen. Okay, but that's a whole nother point I want. I want
Big O to go to VT. I think he'd fit perfect in.
I don't know where Big O would go. I mean,
VT,
go Tigers.
Careful with that cigar, boy. No, but I mean, the point stands is the reason the LSU job, in my opinion, is better than the Alabama job is because Alabama has that strict history. LSU doesn't have that long-term success. They're going to look out there for that next big guy who can put LSU on that pedestal as one of the greatest blue blood programs in the country. Same with Florida. Who do you think of when you think of Coach Florida?
Urban Meyer.
Spurrier.
Steve Spurrier. Okay.
I mean, it's pretty good. That's both really good legacies if you want to look at it like that.
Yeah, but they're both looking for guys of the stature of Nick Saban. They're looking for the stature of I'm going to slip his name, the old ball coach from Florida State, Bobby Bowden.
Bowden.
Bowden. Okay. I don't know if you could put Dabo on that stage or not. Dabo.
At Clemson?
Yeah.
I mean, Dabo.
Or Clemson.
Dabo's
Dabo, they look at Dabo like that.
He's not a young coach anymore.
Yeah. And I still don't know if you can put Kirby on that pedestal yet. I mean, how many championships has Kirby won?
Two.
Yeah.
You win 2 national championships, you're on a pedestal.
I mean, how many other active coaches right now have 2 national championships? I'll wait.
0. There's not.
It's right? Kirby.
Yeah. Okay, so I want to go hit back on the whole Big O conversation, okay? Because, we're talking about, Big O was somebody that embodied LSU football.
Dang it, Kels, I don't have a graphic for that.
I know. I kind of surprised you on this one. I didn't go for you on this. So we talk about success at LSU and what brings success and how this is going to. I keep hitting back on, which coach goes there. But at the same time, I kind of want to look at, they're going to get a coach, okay? Whether it's Summerall, whether it's Kiffin, whether it's Franklin, whomever is going to go to this job, right? Okay, that's one important part, okay? Possibly the most important part is the staff that they bring with them, because if they make one bad hire, there goes next year, there goes the next 2 years, okay? That's going to set you back, okay? The third most important part, okay, and this is what Brian Kelly kind of lacked at LSU.
Recruiting.
It wasn't just recruiting.
Quarterback.
It wasn't just quarterback.
Okay.
He didn't embody LSU. He didn't go to LSU because it was LSU. He didn't go there because it was the South. He went there for a money tag and because it was one of the best jobs.
I mean, he had the best country accent I've ever heard.
That's my whole point right there. He just went and faked a country accent.
It's terrible.
What did Coach O do? Coach O had this really thick, really Louisianian native accent that he had.
You couldn't understand.
Resonated.
You understood 2 words that man said. Go Tigers.
That's why. You know who's understanding that? Recruits when he goes to their office for the Jambalaya Gumbo Bowl, right?
Yes,
okay? That's what
recruits
Brian Kelly was missing.
Recruits from Louisiana.
Yes.
But once you get outside of that area and you're trying to recruit Texas and stuff like that, I think that's why Coach O hit lightning in a bottle with Burrow and possibly one of the greatest seasons by a quarterback in college football history.
I agree it was lightning in a bottle, but I think that went so quickly for Coach O because Coach O was the interim there at LSU first after Was it
Brian Kelly? No, not Brian Kelly.
Was it Miley? Not Miley.
Les Miles.
Les Miles. Yeah. He was the interim there, took over. They thought he embodied LSU football, and that's what they were missing. Okay. And you hit back. Now we're at Brian Kelly era, and they're missing it again. Okay. That I think was the biggest issue with what Brian Kelly had. He didn't try to get along with the players. He wasn't trying to embody LSU football. He was a guy from the North. Same with Saban. When he came down to LSU, he didn't do what Brian Kelly did. Brian Kelly went down there because it was a paycheck, because it was the number one job in the country. Saban went down there because he saw potential, and he wanted to be with LSU football. He wanted to go get those recruits. He wanted to do that because you can be at LSU, but if you want to be at LSU, you have to go out and recruit, especially on weekends where you're supposed to be recruiting, because Brian Kelly was sitting in Florida and the white sandy beaches.
And I'll even give you this. Nick Saban being from the North, he's from West Virginia, which is about as southern as you can get, that far north. Let's be honest.
But is that going to resonate with LSU people?
And it obviously did.
Michigan, yeah, it did. Yeah.
Okay. I'll for fun here.
Mm-hmm.
It's completely up to Kelsey. Make the best story possible. Who's the next head coach at LSU, Florida? Like, okay, if it's completely up to you. Money doesn't matter. What makes the most sense for the game?
Most sense in my head on who's going where. Okay. Florida, and I'm going to split this with Florida because I'm kind of 50-50 on this, but it makes the most sense in my head and what really sparks the conversation. Okay. Florida, I like Alex Gullish, USF, sticking in state. I think it's a good hire. Or Mike McDaniel, coach of the Miami Dolphins.
Okay.
And they're having struggles up there in Miami, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Kind of struggles. Okay. LSU, in a perfect world, Dan Lanning.
Okay.
Well, I think that's not going to happen. Maybe the sliver of hope is there.
It's you're the one writing this story.
Yes.
So.
Okay. What was the other school you named? Because there's ton of jobs over there.
Yeah, LSU, Florida, and then Penn State.
Penn State.
Which
Matt Rule. He was the guy that was floated at first. He was the guy that was floated at first, and I think it makes a ton of sense. He's from that area. It's just, I think Rule can have a ton of success there. He rebuilt Baylor. He rebuilt Temple. He's had massive success in college. He hasn't necessarily done that with Nebraska, but he's made Nebraska football relevant again. I don't know when the last time we were talking about Nebraska football is before they were being the Big Ten. And I wasn't alive yet, I don't think.
Right.
So
the only thing I would push back on you on Dan Lanning, which, like I said, you're making up the story. Money doesn't matter.
Yeah,
I think it actually is a good fit. I think it would be interesting. I think it would prove to all the Alabama fans that Alabama didn't even offer him the Alabama job last year.
Yes.
The one caveat would be that the only person that they would be paying more than Brian Kelly would be Dan Lanning, since his buyout is $56 million because he just signed a new contract last year.
Money doesn't matter.
I do think I heard a story earlier today that Dan Lanning made the comment that the great thing about being the Oregon head coach is he can go to a restaurant and nobody bothers him.
Yeah.
You cannot do that as the LSU head coach.
You can't do that in the South, period.
Right.
There's maybe a couple schools you can do that at.
Name one. In the SEC.
Vanderbilt. Because Nashville, you're going at, who's going to look up and see Clark Lea? Now they're looking for Luke Combs. They're looking for Luke Bryan, Morgan Wallen, right? They're not looking for Clark Lea.
Vanderbilt might be the only school.
Yeah, because you go out in South Carolina,
I'm almost certain
Beaver's getting recognized.
I'm almost certain Vandy's head coach could walk through this garage right now. We wouldn't be like,
who's that guy?
I would question it for a minute. I have to look up a picture.
Yeah.
Oh, is that, me and Dad were
Hey, we have had AI Nick Saban sitting right here.
We have had that.
In the garage, doing the show with us on a Saturday morning, 9 to 11 on 103.9.
And it was the same time as game day.
Allegedly, yeah.
Hey, a little comment here from Brooks reaching out to us again on YouTube. LSU will be throwing a ton of money at the next big name because they want to have a stability at head coach. I 100% agree. That's the way it's going to go. I mean, they just paid probably $100 million to get Kelly and his staff out the door. So, you got to go with it, okay? And then John Paul hit us up on YouTube as well. Lane Kiffin is a boring coach choice. Is it boring?
Oh, I think
He's one of the most
exciting coaches in football.
exciting.
Let's
I
get
don't
your
know about
popcorn
bored.
ready, right?
Get your, I mean, mustard being thrown at him. Get your popcorn. I'll never forget the craziest thing about that whole game was in the pregame, he says, get your popcorn. And by the third quarter, Big Al is walking the sideline wearing a popcorn costume.
Yeah. That you think that was a setup?
Who in the world? Somebody, one of the GAs or something from the University of Alabama was like, don't we have a popcorn costume at Coleman for basketball season? And they were like, yes, we do. And took a go-kart across campus to Coleman, opened up the closet, starts going through, nope, not Spider-Man, nope, not popcorn, put it back on the go-kart, drove all the way back across campus and was like, here, put this on.
Hey, big shout out to John Little, AI Nick for the win. I wonder who created AI Nick.
Allegedly.
Mr. John Little, right?
Oh, yeah.
It was. It was.
Thanks, John, for joining us tonight.
Guys, thanks for every one of y'all joining us tonight. We're getting ready to enter an action-packed, kind of stretch with football. Like Richie was saying, I think we have a game until mid-January.
I think
Every day.
I think it's like
Every day.
January 3rd or
January
something.
3rd, yeah. So we're going through the stretch right here. Probably the most exciting time to be a college football fan. With bowl game action coming up soon, we're reaching into the really conference playoff or conference championship picture, and right after that, the playoff picture. So you want to stick with us, keep tuning in, guys. Share it with everybody: your mother, your brother, your uncle, your cousin, your third cousin, your fifth cousin. Right, reach it all out to us, and just we thank y'all for joining us, but keep joining us. We got a lot to get to coming into this stretch of the season. So.
It's like I think you need to spend a few minutes talking about Saturday's ball game, Alabama, South Carolina. And as you can see on the graphic up there, sorry, Bama ruined your storming of the field party.
That's a rough game for Bama.
It was a rough game. You know what? I was sitting there thinking about that game today, and I was kind of watching some of our past replays of the off the bench radio show, and there's been two games where there's been a strip in the football of the game that's won the ball game for us. Think about the Vandy game. Okay. There was a fumble big time. We stripped there as they were getting ready to score a touchdown. And then you think about last week's game in South Carolina. They don't strip that ball with 2 minutes and 9 seconds. I think South Carolina might control it and they win the ball game.
They at least get into field goal.
Yeah.
I mean, worst case scenario, we go to overtime at their house. Their fans are even more fired up at that point. That's going to be absolute pandemonium. Would have been, by the way, the record, which we currently already hold, 12th consecutive road loss that the opposing team stormed the field. The last time Alabama lost on the road at somebody else's house and they did not storm the field was 2020 LSU, or not, 2019 LSU.
That's because LSU fans have enough respect. We would have the same for their program. You're never going to see us storm the field.
Remember what LSU team that was?
I was at that team.
Wasn't that Burrow?
Was that Burrow?
Jefferson
Yeah,
and Burrow.
they expected to win.
That was the best team in the
They
country.
walked out on the field
Yeah.
and remember that game that year though with Bama and LSU? Oh man, that was a great
game. That was a good game.
High scoring offensive juggernaut.
But yeah, since then, every team we have lost to on the road has stormed the field.
Did we get another storm fielding last weekend?
Not that I saw.
That was we've done it every week consecutively. I don't know if last weekend we had one.
What? A storm into the field?
Storming of the field, because week 1 was Florida State, and then it's trickled on along there.
I'm sure there was
somewhere in some
well,
school.
like, there's some of these schools like Clemson storms the field every weekend if they beat the Sisterhood of the Blind, Deaf, and Dumb. It's they storm. It's a tradition. They storm the field. Like,
well, there was pictures in South Carolina where they had started to take the goalpost down.
Oh yeah,
and it was pretty much down, right? So it looked like they were about to storm the field, but it didn't happen. Unfortunately for South Carolina fans, is Beamer Ball and Cocktober did not show off on Saturday. By the way, that's the end of Jockstober here as well. We want to have Jockstober on the radio this weekend.
Can we spend a minute and talk about one play in that game real quick though?
Yeah,
I want to talk about the touchdown to win the game for Bama at the end. Okay, and as the South Carolina fans are screaming that was rigged and wondering why South Carolina got in and tackled him. South Carolina had no timeouts.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, the only way they were going to stop that clock is unless Bama scored.
And the argument was that I've seen was, and not really an argument because I've made this argument myself. I haven't really seen this argument anywhere. Is it looked like the play was rigged because the guy didn't tackle him? He
Yeah,
put
he put his hands up.
and Bernard just ran by with his balance, right? Okay, that was to save time, right? If
Yeah.
you're smart, if you know ball,
Only way you're going to stop
if
the
you know
clock.
ball, then exactly
Let him score.
right? Other argument that I thought of was, would that have been a tough field goal for Talty?
Talty's missed at least one field goal in every ball game
And
we played this
you would have
year.
likely, unless Alabama would have been able to line it up, you would have likely had a tough angle for Talty.
Well, if you heard Beamer talk, if you heard South Carolina's coach talk after the game, he said, he goes, that if they've got the first down, let them score.
Right.
Okay. If we stop them, you make Talty. He wanted Talty to kick a field goal, 4th down, 3rd and whatever from 30. Okay. But once Bernard got that first down, it was like the South Carolina players put their hands up and they let him score.
I mean, that's how you play, right? You had to save it because you didn't have any timeouts.
If he tackles him where he was, he's tackled him out of bounds. The clock stops.
Yeah.
We center the ball up.
It's an extra point.
Ty takes 2 steps to his left, takes a knee, sends the kicker out there for a 25-yard field goal. Tied. So it's to win the game.
Yeah.
But it's not, if I miss it, I lose.
Yeah. John Paul hitting us up on YouTube. Why didn't South Carolina just storm the field anyways? It's their field. Well, I mean, that would be awkward. You ever storm the field in a loss? Did you storm the field in the Texas game, Dad, where we lost?
No, I was by halftime. Oh, the Texas game when we lost.
You stormed the
No, I kind of stormed it to my car.
Yeah.
Kind of went directed to the car as we were watching all the Texas fans go backwards down the upper deck deals so they could get onto the field.
Yeah.
There were more Texas fans on the field after the game than Alabama fans or Alabama players. So no, we did not storm. We went straight to our car and cried our way all the way home.
Okay, as an Alabama fan, as an alumni of the University of Alabama, we have never, not once, not even thought about storming the field.
Yeah.
So 2 questions. Question number 1, if you ever found yourself, let's say you decided to go Penn State, Ohio State this weekend at Penn State, you decided to go to the game, and Penn State wins, and their fans start storming the field.
Oh, I'm running.
Would you join?
I'm joining.
I'm joining.
Okay, I would too.
I'm wearing a Bama jersey.
Absolutely.
While I don't support the whole thing around field storming, I think it's a part of the game as well.
Yeah.
I would 100% join.
Player
I was
safety.
there, yeah.
Player safety.
It's player
right?
safety, and that's the issue with it. It's even more dangerous on a basketball court.
Oh my gosh! And they did on a basketball court. There's no place for the players to go.
Exactly. Or you can try to get out of the way on a football field because it can hold a lot of people, but on a basketball court, it's just so much smaller, right?
Well, you remember what Calipari at Kentucky would do when he knew that court was going to get stormed.
He'd send his players.
He sent his players into the locker room,
exactly.
except for the players on the court, and he would make them go to the baseline on what was the last play, and they just walk straight to the.
Again, Alabama in this game not able to run the ball.
Nope.
A consistent issue we've seen throughout the year. Ty Simpson's been relied upon to pass the ball, and they were limited with Isaiah Horton. And Ryan Williams had a couple drops. Lotzie Brooks did not play in this one. He was hurt as well. So, Ty Simpson and Ryan Grubb still being able to connect with Jeremy Bernard throughout the ball game, and that's what helped us win that game. On offense, Jeremy Bernard helped really iterate a half the
Bernard
offense.
led in rushing, receiving.
Yeah.
So, is there a stat he did not lead in?
I don't think he could.
How does Bama fix this run game? Or is there a fix? Or the thing that I brought up today, yes, you can try to establish the run game early on against LSU, for example. But if it does not work, stick with what you've been doing in the passing because it's been working. Maybe you just stick with that and abandon the run completely.
I almost feel like with this Alabama team, they have realized that running is not their forte. And so these quick outs, these quick passes, these
inside
handoffs, little semi gimmick plays have become the run game for them.
Yeah.
To get the running back into space, to use Bernard as a running back, to hand the ball to Caden Proctor, which I am here for. Anytime anybody in a crimson jersey decides to hand the ball to Caden Proctor, I am here for that. Throw it to him, hand it to him, squib kick it to him. I don't care. Just get the man the ball. Let's, what are we doing here? But I honestly, is great of a running back as we think Jam Miller is. I think Ty Simpson's quick outs, quick passes has turned into the run game.
What does what does that say to these 4 and 5 star running backs that keep looking at Alabama? Adair, who's sitting on the bench, we're not running the ball. What does he think his future is going to be like at Alabama if we're just going to abandon the running game under Grubb's offense?
James the senior, is he not?
Jam is. I'm not. I'm talking to like freshmen, like Adair.
Okay, Deer,
You know,
Riley's a sophomore.
Riley's getting a lot of PT right now.
Riley's getting a lot of PT.
Well, I will say this: he'll obviously 4 runs, 76 yards, 19 yards on average on receiving. Rushing, he had 3 for 10 yards. So even these running backs that you're saying are sitting on the bench, or the recruits that are looking at it are still seeing, hey, I'm still getting the ball, I'm still getting out in space. 76 yards receiving is not a bad day whatsoever.
No.
All right, Kels, you're at the bottom of the hour right now. You want to get to what we're doing this weekend?
Of course, guys. So this weekend, the Kick It for Dana Charity Kickball Tournament. Look, this has been huge with us. We've partnered with them, and Dana's trying to recover from breast cancer, and we've been trying to help her out with that. Of course, you can go look at our Facebook page. All the information is there to register if you want to play some kickball this weekend, help Dana out a little bit, or register as a team. You can also, if you cannot make it, go to the GoFundMe page and support her that way. But we will be out there from 9 to 11 this weekend. It's going to be a fun time of just some, trying to raise money for her and just having a fun time playing some kickball. And we'll be there just to, talking some ball the first 2 hours, previewing this weekend and what's going to happen in those games. But the biggest thing that day is just supporting Dana. So if you guys would like, come out, hang out with us. You can meet us. And we're just going to have a fun time. I think there'll be food trucks there as well.
Yeah, that's what Brooks was saying. He's saying food trucks. Yeah. We'll be out there. Look for the Alabama 10x10 tent. We'll have tables set up. Me, you, Richie, we'll all be there.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Talking some ball and, probably getting some updates from the kickball games. Hopefully we'll catch some of the players and others. Just so come out and join us.
Of course, guys. It's going to be a fun time.
All right.
I've never done play-by-play on a kickball game. So.
I have not.
So what is it? He rolls the ball, and it's a kick.
I don't know.
I don't know how that goes.
I've done football play-by-play now, so I can say that, but I have not done. I've not done that.
So somebody by the name of Carl is talking about basic zone blocking with Alabama. If you want to come back to that,
Carl's hitting us up. Okay, all right. Basic run blocking plays, better into the offense that they don't utilize.
I was never a lineman. I wouldn't know what to think about basic.
Carl was a lineman.
Carl at least knows a lineman or two.
Carl is friend of the show, uncle of the show, whatever you may have it. He's been present with us.
I think he might be listening to us from that orange state.
He's listening from the orange state, state to the north of us.
Yeah.
Yes.
That school up north.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, there's something missing with the running game. Jam Miller's too good of a running back to not be breaking, at least a handful of 5-10 yard rushes.
Well, and I made this point earlier to Pops here. The problem with Alabama's run game, and I think this hits back on how this team is constructed and what kind of scheme we're in. These blockers are not meant for run blocking. The people that we have set up on the line, they're meant for pass blocking.
Right.
Proctor's a big guy, doesn't move that often. I mean, he can move. Obviously he can move catch passes, right? We even saw him, and it failed this last weekend.
Yeah.
It did. But I think this run offense, this offensive line, it's built to pass block. It's not built to run block.
Well, I mean, look at the history of DeBoer and Grubb. I mean, they come from Washington. What did they do in Washington? They passed the dang ball.
They had Michael Penix over there.
But historically, when you come to Alabama, you talk history. What do we always say? Run the damn ball.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's because that's what we're used to. And even when we do run the ball now, it seems like we run up the middle every dang time. Okay. And I think a lot of it might be with the RPO.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's why they're running the ball. But I mean, the gone are the days of just hit the 6 hole on the left side, sweep to the left, sweep to the right. You're just not seeing that right now.
And I agree with that. And especially, you got to think, say what you will, Ty Simpson's currently first or second in the Heisman odds. You've got some really great wide receivers out there. You've got running backs who can catch the ball out of the backfield. There's not – I hope this does not come back to bite me in the butt saying this. There has not been a need up to this point to consistently run the ball because those little short passes have worked out.
And there still won't be a need. I don't think you'll see a need throughout this year, honestly, with the rest of our schedule. I think we're doing just fine passing the ball. I know this team shouldn't get one-dimensional. The issue I see in the future, and this is looking way too many games ahead, but these are my two favorites to be in the national championship, and that's Ohio State and Alabama. You'll have that issue definitely present itself against a team like Ohio State and how they're built.
The number one defense in the country right now.
You've got to have enough confidence in your running game.
Oklahoma was the top 5.
When it's 4th and 1, you got to have enough confidence in your running game. You're running the ball.
I think you
not
do.
dropping back in a shotgun.
I think you have enough confidence to run the ball at 4th and 1 right now for Alabama.
I'll even say this: for years, Nick Saban would somehow in the playoffs or the national championship game find some player that we haven't heard his name for 6 games, and all of a sudden, who is this guy named OJ Howard catching 8 passes for 2 touchdowns in a national championship game? Because Nick would just like hold this little secret thing in his back pocket and wait for it.
So I got it. You're talking tight ends now.
Yeah.
I mean, okay. I want
National Tight End Day Sunday, by the way.
Yeah, we need to move on and talk about some games. But look, think about the 2-point conversion, that play that they ran.
Mm-hmm.
That was a direct snap to the running back. Running back hands the ball off to Ty Simpson. Ty Simpson hits who? The tight end on the corner for the 2-point conversion.
Because Grubb's one of the best OCs in the country.
But I will argue you got to have enough confidence to
That's
run the
why-
damn ball.
That's why he's going to be the next head coach
At
Vanderbilt. He's going to be the next head coach at Vanderbilt.
No way Grubb goes to
No,
Vanderbilt.
when Leah leaves for another job, which I don't think is in this carousel, I think you still have another year for Leah there, unless he goes to LSU. The name's been floated. That I don't think it's good enough fit. I don't think Leah's proven enough yet to go up to LSU and win like that.
Okay, speaking of Vanderbilt, you got Vanderbilt at Texas this weekend. What you think, guys?
This is 2 similar teams on how they're. You talked about play out games.
yes,
These are kind of set up in similar ways for both teams because Texas, if they lose this game, they're out. I think, okay. Vanderbilt, not quite, but it's going to be a very tough road.
I think the winner of this game is headed up.
Yes.
And the loser of this game is headed south very quickly.
Real quick.
Quickly. Yes. Now, for this game, we're still waiting to see if Arch plays. We really don't know with Arch yet. Arch kind of I think it's less than 50-50 on his concussion protocol.
He practiced today. Obviously, he was probably wearing one of them little red jerseys. Do not touch this quarterback.
Yes.
The big old helmets and everything.
He did. Yeah. Big old helmet.
I will say this. We were talking before we came on tonight about, I said 2 things. One, the next 3 weeks to me, there's a lot of play out games. No one's playing themselves in this weekend, but you could definitely play yourself out. They usually say you can't win Talladega on lap 1, but you surely can lose it. We also, the other thing I said was this weekend, we got just screwed out of some what could have been great games.
Was this James Franklin's fault?
Yeah,
I think it surely relies on his fault.
well, not just James Franklin. Okay, so we'll start there. Penn State was supposed to have been a top 5 team.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think they still could have if Franklin did better.
At Ohio State this weekend.
Yep.
Instead,
Yeah.
it's a 20.5-point game. That game no longer is a big deal. I mean, yeah, okay. I think game day's going to be there, but I think that's just
No,
because
I think game days.
Game days at Ohio State and Penn State.
I thought so. I
I thought they were in. They're not at SMU, and or maybe the ranked game Utah later.
I don't know.
I don't remember what game days.
I'll look it up.
We'll have to look it up. Yeah.
I mean, but you sit there and you talk about that Ohio State Penn State matchup. I mean, that's one of those games where Penn State doesn't fall flat on their face. We don't have the Franklin conversation right now. Even if both of these teams had only had, Ohio State doesn't have a loss.
Yeah.
Okay, but if Penn State only had 1 or 2, this would still be a talk about game.
Yeah, if their only loss was the Oregon game.
Yeah.
This is a huge game Saturday. Vandy, Texas. If Arch is half the quarterback we thought he was going to be for the first half of the season, Texas is higher ranked. It's still a 9 versus 20. It's still a top 20 matchup, but it's not what it could have been.
Yeah.
What was the other one that Florida, Georgia? It's the world's largest cocktail party this weekend.
Love that game.
No one is saying a word about that game because does anybody even give Florida a chance, of showing up?
Honestly, I think this may be the best chance that Florida's had in years. with how Georgia's performing.
It,
But at the same time, Florida just doesn't have that advantage to take up on because there's so much bleak future in the program that I don't know how you can look towards this week and actually get excited about and get your players rallied around this without Billy Napier there.
Right.
Again, so, you're right, robbed of a big game because I think this could be Florida's best opportunity to go out and beat them like they haven't done the last couple of years.
And there was one more, USC at Nebraska. Nebraska was supposed to have been at least a top 20 team coming into the season. Everybody was talking that they had a chance of doing something, but they've kind of fallen flat with 2 losses that, but because they're that middle of the pack Big Ten right now, which is just you think the SEC's
there's so much traffic jam there, but it's the traffic jam in the middle part, not toward the top of the conference. Right. So there's just so much.
But even with that, I think both conferences, the Big Ten and the SEC, your top 2 are starting to pull away a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
We may not be, all the way to Birmingham and everybody else is still in Coleman, but Alabama and Texas A&M are starting to pull ahead. Ohio State and Indiana are starting to pull ahead. And then there's this.
Oregon's still right on their tail. Oregon's still on the tail.
If you look at Oregon's schedule, that I seriously have questions about how they're going to finish the season.
Yeah,
they're at Iowa, which is never easy.
It's not an easy game. Not the way they're playing right now. No,
I forget who the next one is. Then you have at Washington and then home for USC. So you've got some pretty tough games right there. We're really going to finally see, because if Penn State's as bad as they are, who is Oregon played and beat that's worth us actually having a conversation about on the air?
I couldn't tell you. I don't remember their out of conference schedule.
It was
weak, wasn't it? It was weak.
It was very weak.
Weak. Okay. Carl hitting us up. Trap game for OSU. Is it a trap game for OSU? I mean, I can see where it could be a trap game, but I just don't know if there's enough on Penn State's side to go in there in their own stadium and beat Ohio State.
You could
kind
have
of the same way we're talking about Florida and Georgia, right? But this is not the year to beat Ohio State. It's going to be very tough to do that by any team.
I think both of those games, one team being Georgia, one team being Ohio State, could be up 21-0 at the end of the first quarter. Or you could have one of those that kind of mucks around and is kind of quiet, and then everybody starts tweeting about it, and you start getting text messages, hey, are you watching the Georgia game? Hey, are you watching the Ohio State game? Hey, did you see what Penn State just did? They got a fumble. They're hanging around, like a hair in a biscuit. And you could look up or both of these games could be 56-0.
Speaking of hairs in the biscuit, Kels, look at John Paul's latest comment.
I see that. John Paul hitting us up. Let's talk about how the ACC is clearly stronger than the SEC. Well, John Paul, I'll tell you what. Explain to me how they are better than the SEC. And I'll wait, because
should I send him a link and we can bring him on?
There is
you need to send John Paul a link to some sort of anonymous club. I don't know if it's
There's one, maybe 2 teams that I would say would compete in the SEC right now from the ACC.
Miami
and Georgia Tech.
Yeah,
and I don't think either one of them goes less than 3 losses against Alabama's schedule.
Well, you likely will not beat. You likely would beat Texas A&M or. And Bama, I don't know about Bama. It's close.
And let's be, the last game of the season is Georgia, who right now is arguably the 3rd or 4th best team in the SEC, is going to go up against Georgia Tech, and they're going to. I think they're going to boat race them. Not to give my pick away.
If Georgia was not in the SEC right now, there's only a handful of teams that would beat them. Let's put them in the ACC real quick. Well, let's put Georgia there real quick.
Georgia's the number 1 team in the SEC.
Georgia's the 1-1 team in the country.
Yeah.
How it's perceived, Georgia's the number 1 team in the country.
Oh, if Georgia was in the ACC.
Yes.
Well, second, because Ohio State's the defending national championship, so we don't want to drop them. Blah,
so
blah, blah,
let's flip John Paul's argument against him. Okay, let's put Florida State in the SEC, and what would their record be?
Okay, let's say they beat Bama on that
glorified
win. Okay,
no question about it. But if you think
it's
the same team,
ball game now. It's not. Neither of them are the same team. Mike Norvell is going to get fired. Okay, that's the way it's going to be toward the end of the season. They might wait toward the end of the season when the buyout gets lower, but Norvell is going to be out the door.
I could answer this question for you real simple.
They would likely win. It depends how their schedule would be. Let's say they play both.
If Mississippi State was going to Tallahassee this weekend, who's the favorite?
Oh, Mississippi State. all
Mississippi
day
State's
long.
the favorite. I mean,
I mean-
look, they had a close loss to
Okay.
Texas.
Vanderbilt.
Texas came back, but
Vanderbilt's the favorite.
Vanderbilt's
Texas.
the favorite. Texas is the favorite.
Yeah.
Alabama, Georgia, Tennessee, Ole Miss, Texas A&M. Would you like me to keep going? South Carolina goes into Tallahassee this weekend.
I think it'd be a close game, but
Missouri without Bo Prevula.
Okay, I'll give you that. Pre the injury,
All
I'll
right.
give you Missouri.
Pre-injury, I take Missouri, but
let's-
without Bo Prevula.
let's do Kentucky. Florida State might beat Kentucky.
Kentucky might.
Is it at
Kentucky is now
Kentucky?
the joke of the SEC. Mississippi State and Vanderbilt have taken off the title and has handed it to Kentucky.
Yeah.
I think Arkansas is a pick 'em at Tallahassee this weekend. Tell me I'm wrong.
I don't know. The way they played last week and they let Auburn beat them, Petrino doesn't look like he's going to be a candidate for the
Yeah.
job no more. I take Florida State in that game.
Okay.
I take Florida State in that
So-
game. So there's 2 wins, right? Is it 2 wins?
I just think for somebody to sit there and make a comment that the ACC is better than the ACC. I think that the 1 and 2 teams in the country are both Big Ten. I think the next 4 or 5 is SEC, and it's a stretch. I don't know why you can sit there and say the ACC is better than the SEC when your best 2 teams. Sure, you have Georgia Tech in there, who's undefeated, but they're also playing the Alabama School for the Deaf and Dumb. Okay, they are.
John Paul, you're not listening to this. What we're saying is, look, I get Louisville beat Miami, so you think Louisville can beat Bama, okay? But
By the transitive property of math.
by the transitive property
All
of
right,
math,
Let's do it.
Okay, to go back, Oregon schedule. They played Montana State to start the season, blowout. Oklahoma State, blowout. Northwestern, 34-14. Oregon State, blowout. Penn State, they won by 6 in double overtime. Lost to Indiana, 20-30. They beat Rutgers, the powerhouse of the State University of New Jersey. And then they beat Wisconsin 21-7. I'm almost certain Alabama played Wisconsin and beat them by more than that. But
So- you're saying that, Oregon has not been tested up until this point.
okay, I'll give you. All right, you ready?
Besides Indiana.
You ready for a fun one?
Yeah.
More likely to happen. SEC gets 5 schools in,
Yeah.
or the Big Ten only gets 2.
Big Ten only gets 2.
Yeah, I don't know who the third team in the Big Ten would be. It's going to be Ohio State, Indiana,
And
Michigan.
Oregon. And Oregon.
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 Michigan.
If Oregon wins out, yes, I'll give you Oregon.
Michigan would have to beat Ohio State. I don't think it'll happen.
Yeah.
For
Even, I
fifth
mean,
year.
we've said it the last 2 years. But
This will be the 5th year in a row. They're trying to win one for the thumb for your
they
Auburn
might wanna
fans.
lose that game. Look how it set Ohio State up last year. Maybe they will drop the game.
It's on purpose, just like, oh no.
Oh, look at that. Saying fumble the ball. Not going to happen.
I'm just saying, there, because you're going to end up at the end of the year, and we're going to look around, and Alabama, Texas A&M, and Georgia in, and then it's going to be an argument. Ole Miss,
Vandy.
Tennessee, Vandy, about who gets only the 4th spot.
Well, Vandy and Tennessee still have to play each other this year.
That's
so.
the last game of the
That's
season,
true, yeah.
which would be a play, which is another play out game.
Play-out
as
game.
I was.
So, hey, speaking of ACC, let's talk about this Miami SMU game. I
So-
think it's a trap game for Miami.
It's 100% a trap game. And, of course, Southern Methodist, they're out of Dallas, right? Is that right?
SMU?
Yeah, they're in
Yes.
Dallas, right? Okay. I want to make sure I get that right.
Yeah. You remember they were.
Thinking
the
about that
team-
second
he's
row.
too young to remember them getting put on. You might be too young to remember that,
I
Richie.
mean, I know the story, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
Death penalty.
Oh,
They they were a top team in football.
they were
Yeah,
NIL
yeah,
before.
Yeah, they were in a hell before it was popular.
Yeah.
Before Bama paid players. Yeah, they
Well,
were.
yes. Yeah, of course, right. So, this game kind of weird to me because I just haven't seen enough ACC this year in going through on how it's going to work out. But what I do see for this game is, you're right, trap game 100%. Okay, you have possibly one of the best teams, or formerly one of the best teams in the country, Miami, going over to SMU. But is Beck going to be able to perform when pressure is put on him? Because we saw him last time; they had a ton of pressure on him, pick after pick after pick after pick. And I think SMU might have the stance to go and do that.
At one point, SMU was ranked this year. I don't remember what it was. I think they're sitting at 5-3 right now.
Yeah.
One of the things too, I'd look at the weather, what it's going to be like in Dallas this weekend as this Miami team comes up. All those types of things play into it. But I don't know. I just got this gut feeling, and when it comes to me and quarterbacks crying from the state of Florida, I just think that Carson Beck's going to be crying at the end of the day on Saturday.
I don't know. I think Miami, yes, this is going to be a tough game on the road, but I still lean that Miami's still going to be able to pull this one out. I think it's going to coincide. I think red zone is a big possibility in this one. What we see, if Miami can complete these touchdown drives at the end, because if they can't and they have to settle for field goals, I think SMU is going to take advantage of that.
I'll give you a fun little stat I was looking at real quick when I was trying to look at SMU's schedule. We were talking before we went on about the football power index, ESPN's predictor thing.
Yeah.
Because Pops brought up Vandy, Texas, and it's only a 2.5-point game according to the Terry Benedict's casinos. And I believe you said that Texas was like a 70% favorite to win that game.
ESPN favorite. Yep.
This game, Miami is a 12.5-point favorite, and it's 70%.
This is a game you bet on this weekend.
That's it right there, because that's an insane that both of those games are the favorite 70% to win.
Now, I'm sure you might you might set it back in the next couple of days. I'm sure you're going to see it brought back just a little bit. You'll see if it brought back. So your best bet's right now, but
it's not going to come back far enough that it's not not worth it. I mean, you're talking a game like that doesn't change that much at this point. It's already Wednesday night. It would take a good bit to change that game enough, or I don't think it would be.
I see a lot of bet influx.
So let's bring it back to the SEC, guys, as we close out the show here soon. Oklahoma, Tennessee.
All right. This game, I remember a couple of years ago this happened, right? And we was in Tennessee, and Oklahoma was supposed to have this big jump start, and then Tennessee pushed it back, and then it just didn't happen that year, and it took another year for them, Oklahoma, to get really back on the right page. Okay, we're finally going to see Venables and Heupel go at it again inside in Neyland. My question for this one is, how's Mateer going to play? Of course, we've seen Mateer with the hand injury the last couple of weeks. Okay, is it still going to put an emphasis on this game? And depending on how he plays, because if he's still hurting, you could see some maybe instability on offense for Oklahoma. Looking on that graphic now, does that say Alabama on the back of his shirt there?
Oh, no, it says Oklahoma.
Does it say Oklahoma? Okay.
I don't know. It was one of them AI deals,
yeah, exactly.
At the end of the day, I think they're just going to hug and make up.
You think Heupel and Venables going to hug and make up?
Yeah.
I think it's a good possibility. You could see it happen. Bobby Hill getting over there.
That's going to be one of those quick handshake and walkaways.
Quick handshakes and walk away.
All right.
No, but continue my point though is I think Tennessee's defense or offense is going to be it's going to be really overpowered. And Oklahoma's not going to be able to put a test up to it. Now the defense for Oklahoma, I think it's going to cause some issues for Tennessee, but at the same time, I think this is about being in Neyland Stadium.
I'll go this far with that is saying that Oklahoma has not looked great the last few weeks, and I think that pattern is going to continue. They looked terrible against Texas, which we can say was the quarterback. We can say whatever. They looked terrible against them. I don't care who your quarterback is. You shouldn't have been only putting up 6 points in your biggest rivalry of the year. They came back. They beat South Carolina at South Carolina, who was looking forward, to their big showdown the following week. And then they get beat by Ole Miss last weekend by 12. Ole Miss seemed to kind of just be toying with them a little bit. I mean, see Lane Kiffin at the end of the game with the defensive player and everything. I think you're going to see you've got an Oklahoma team that could lose the rest of the way.
It'd be nice.
I mean, they got Tennessee at Tennessee this weekend. They host Missouri, which their quarterback's hurt, so that could be. And then they host LSU. Yes, they could win 3 in a row, and they're 9-2, 10-2 at the end of the season. Obviously I don't think they're going to beat Bama, but that's my opinion. It's not even November yet. And so, but you could see them just fall off a cliff if the wheels fall off or the old wagon per se. We've seen that happen before on the field, literally and figuratively. I see this Oklahoma game and team just falling apart.
Carl hitting us up on YouTube. I honestly thought we would get more harsher language from this. He says, always root for Tennessee to lose. I think what you meant was, I'm not going to say it. I'm not,
I mean, we are on YouTube. I'm almost sure we're allowed to say
we're
it.
not going to get fined, and we can't get demonetized for it because we're not actually monetized. But I don't know. It's not natural for me to say it. Being on radio for years, it's just not natural for me to say that live.
So I try not to into the mic because
that's exactly it, right? I mean, you can go Tennessee.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I think that's as far as we'll go with it, right? Kid friendly show. There we go. Duck them. I see it now. John Paul hitting us up as well on YouTube. Auburn will beat Alabama because the script says so, and they'll still put a 2-loss Alabama team in the playoff.
Of course they would.
Yeah, I mean, Alabama could still lose one game after the South Carolina win.
And they're still in.
Yeah, they can still lose one game and still be in. Now, as we're talking about the script, I mean, is football scripted? We gonna go through this? Football scripted?
No.
Last 5 minutes of shows have been scripted.
I mean, WWE's real, isn't it?
That's true. Yeah. Okay, I get what you mean. You did the John Cena motion.
I didn't get that. You can't see me
I
thing.
didn't get it at first.
I got
it took me a minute. Yeah, it took me a minute to get that. Yes. But guys, we got a couple minutes here left, but we just want to thank you for watching. Remember the Dana Kick It for Dana charity kickball tournament this weekend. Come meet us out there. It's up off Kiwanis Park, right by the Botanical Gardens. Bob Wallace. Meet us over there. We got food trucks. Of course, the kickball going on. Okay, you can go play with us. You can come hang out, watch us. It's going to be a fun time. And if you can't make it, go visit the GoFundMe, help Dana out a little bit in her fight with the breast cancer.
So I got to wonder, like, how many people are going to walk up to us on Saturday and go, what are you guys doing? Why are all these microphones up?
Right?
Are you guys like
over under 8?
So we were in Tuscaloosa. I think we had one person walk up to us. We were early in the quad.
We were way early in the quad for a night game, and
we were
one
person walked up to us, and I expected many more people to walk up to us. One person, he said, "What are y'all doing?" I was like, "Well, I got a radio show." And he goes, "Cool."
You need a one of the little signs that say live. It lights up when we're.
Well, the one issue we had in Tuscaloosa was the background noise. Music was playing everywhere, right?
Yeah.
I was like, well, man, we didn't have YouTube going. I don't think.
No,
we didn't have
that
YouTube
one
going yet. But for the radio, it doesn't matter as much. But I was like, man, there's a lot of music going on.
While I'm thinking about it, YouTube family, thank y'all so much for watching. Please hit the like and subscribe button, hit the bell for notifications, send it to your friends, your family, your loved ones, the people you don't like. I don't care. If you listen to us because you love us, if you listen to us because you hate us, as long as you listen to us, we appreciate it and thank you for it.
Share the show, guys. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Turn on the bell for the notification. We're about to head out of here for tonight. Remember, go check us out this weekend, Saturday, 9 to 11. We'll be live at Kiwanis Park, right? And you can join us for the Kick It for Dana charity golf ball tournament. It's going to be a fun time. And
the what tournament?
Kickball tournament.
You said golf ball tournament, which I don't know what a golf ball tournament is, but that sounds fun. Is that are we gonna be live from Top Golf next?
It's gonna be hard to do with a golf ball instead of a kickball. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, mixed ball.
All right, so I got to come back to one more comment from John Paul. Mm-hmm. We never talk about how bad Bama plays. We did talk about how bad Bama played.
This is a horrible game from Alabama.
Oklahoma.
They played great for 7.5 minutes.
South Carolina.
The offense was absolutely horrible until the last couple minutes of the game. The defense stepped up. The Alabama offense responded, right? South Carolina played a lights-out football game.
16 points in the last 2 minutes and 16 seconds or something like that.
Yes.
9 seconds.
Okay. Alabama did not play well.
They didn't play great at all.
Okay.
But they got the W.
They got the W, and that's all that mattered on that Saturday. We kind of walked out of there like they stole a win. But I will agree that it was rat poison. Nick Saban would say, if they won a game they weren't supposed to win, it was rat poison, right? I think it's 100% of rat poison.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, you're coming off of 4 straight top 15 wins, all ranked, no bye, no nothing. This is game 5 of a huge stretch. Everybody's hurt, everybody's tired. You're at their house. This is the epitome of. There's a meme that always goes around every time Alabama loses, that when Alabama wins, it's just another Saturday. When your team wins, it's the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
you storm the field. Like I said half an hour ago, the last 11 to beat us have stormed the field. So yes, your team, whether you're South Carolina, whether you're Mississippi State every other year, whether you're Auburn, you circle the Alabama game. Alabama doesn't circle a game. Alabama goes out there and plays every game We don't have stickers that say beat Georgia or beat Auburn. We have stickers that say beat everybody.
I'm seeing these LSU texts in about Nick Saban going to LSU from John Paul. It
100
won't happen.
100 million. They offered
Talking
him
about $1 billion.
if they offered him 100 million for 4 years.
Well,
And told him
you heard what he was saying here. We're gonna go over here for a second. You heard what he was saying on game day. This is up to Miss Terry.
Chelsea's
Overtime.
not done.
we're overtime right now.
We're overtime. We're getting ready to be overtime in 5 seconds. This is Miss Terry, right? Okay. He's got to keep the numbers away from Miss Terry, because if Miss Terry sees the numbers, she's gonna go start. Look at the job. We need to look at that
How much,
money involved.
do we know how much he's making working for ESPN?
Blue. It's probably bigger than Brady's contract.
So unless they did something stupid like 4 years, $100 million, it's not worth it
What
for
be
him.
stupid? I think you probably see a 3 years from LSU. Go win us the title in 3 years, like you did it for us before, and then go off into the shadows. Go to the beach. Go to the retirement home. Right?
And he would win one.
He would win one.
Yeah.
I think that's 100%. It won't happen. I don't think it will happen. Carl hit us up saying $50 million a year. It's not going to happen, guys. This has been Off the Bench, guys. It's a fun midweek update. Please join us 9 to 11 Saturday. Join us throughout the rest of the college football season. We got a lot of stuff heating up. After that, we got basketball season coming up. We're going to be following the whole thing on how this goes through. SEC championship, all the conference championships rolling out, of course. And then the college football playoff coming up. We'll be going through that bowl season, and then the coaching carousel and how that's going to unresolve as we're starting that up. Really already started it up a couple of weeks ago with the James Franklin firing. So there's a lot left this season to go through. And, of course, you can keep rolling with us here on YouTube. If you're in the local area on Saturday, of course, 7:30 a.m., 103.9 FM, Jocks Huntsville. This has been Off the Bench, and we'll be with you this weekend starting at 9 on Saturday.
You mind staying on for like 2 more minutes? We got a question.
gosh.
Okay, go ahead.
Kelsey tried to close us.
Oh, you tried to-
Richie's coming back.
So first of all,
what's up? All right.
it's 11.4 million a year with ESPN.
Okay,
I wanted to bring up something real quick, because as soon as I Googled what does Nick Saban make with ESPN, the first thing that comes up is a ESPN bet.
Yes.
I'm going to tell y'all something. I'm a big Disney guy. Disney owns ABC. Disney owns ESPN. In the last 3 years, Disney has completely changed their program of how they look at everything. They've broken everything into thirds. ABC is 1/3. The parks are a third. ESPN is a third. Bet ESPN is coming up. This is me. I do way too much research into this. I apologize. Put my tinfoil hat on. ESPN Bet is coming up where you're going to be able to watch games on your ESPN app and bet in the game. That's going to be part of it. You're going to pay $50 a month for the ability to do that. It's coming. It'll be by next season at the latest.
Ooh.
Likely not in Alabama, though.
Not in Alabama.
Correct. But
Okay.
here's the thing. The other thing that ESPN did was they spent a large amount of money to purchase the vast majority of the NBA. There is a possibility that this story with the NBA and poker and the fake bets and the taking the unders and stuff is just the tip of the iceberg, and it could blow up in their face to where some of these states start backing off of allowing them to bet and allowing them to advertise betting and stuff. It will actually crush the entire company of Disney.
All right, Kelsey, close us out.
Man. All right.
Sorry.
Richie had to bring us down.
Man,
Mickey
okay.
Mouse is going down.
So no more betting coming up here. We'll see what happens with that, of course. But, of course, join us from 9 to 11 on Saturday morning. We'll go deeper into a lot of this. Of course, more game previews. And, of course, just helping out Dana over there with a Kick It for Dana charity kickball tournament. Of course, guys. So we'll be back on Saturday. We'll see you guys then. This has been Off the Bench.